side. Yeah, we in it for life. When I been up is magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laugh.
Hello everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden20 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Rams. I'll see you again with scores and updates at halftime. But for now, it's my distinct pleasure to hand things over to our broadcast team. It's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. Gentlemen.
On a pretty gray and hazy day here in Southern California, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Los Angeles. Yeah, a few short moments ago, running back Tom Gurley trying to fire up the Ram faithful here in Southern California as his guys get set to do battle with the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. Now, Charles, you and I, we've done a lot of games together. Always seems like we're rehashing the same storylines. Turnovers, of course, always a big story. Quarterback play, running backs, yada, yada, yada. But getting ready for this one word kept coming to mind, and that's preparation.
Well, it's critical to be prepared. Physically, mentally. When you think about getting ready for an NFL game, you have to wonder, what will they throw at us that maybe we haven't seen before? 2-minute drill, maybe different things like that. Got to be prepared. You're exactly right.
Greg Zuerlein, the Rams kicker, approaches, kicks it off, and here we go from Los Angeles. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. First down, Trubisky. And his first pass is incomplete. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time, but it's going to be second down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you. Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And Robinson with a big catch. 16 yards is the pickup there, and a first down for Chicago. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you at important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. A play fake to Montgomery. Now Trubisky. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And this is Be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 44-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now Trubisky toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time. That'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's the first carry for Trey Cohen. And a good burst there right from the start as he'll get this one out near the 35. And some nice running, going to get him down close to a first down at the Rams' 35.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
On 3rd and 1, it's Trubisky. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. The completion there lines up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Stats important when we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers, too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they have 3 first downs and 3 points. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Gone. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're right behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And they get him down the line before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good pickup, 17 yards, and also a Rams first down. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
On 1st and 10, Gone. He gets it to Cross. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the 50, it's gone. And it's complete to Cross. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That will a first down pickup of 8.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now a first down throw, Gone. And he whips that one incomplete there. That time trying to find Gerald Everett. And that'll bring up second down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. And here are the Chicago defensive starters.
Clinton Dix attracted a lot of attention when he was about to enter the NFL for his ability to play the football in the air. He's actually shown that he can tackle pretty well in the league, too.
If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Khalil Mack able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Play action. It's Trubisky. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Draw play here. Trubisky gives to Cole. And from the 25, they work this to the 29. A gain of 4.
The 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Complete. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45.
A gain of 16 yards. And the Bears first down.
Now Trubisky on 1st down. That's caught by Montgomery. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to run with.
Well, a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the 1st down carry. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down now, it's Montgomery, and he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
First down, Bears.
First down, here's the run to Montgomery. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Bears on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Trubisky to throw, rolling to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't. And a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's got an nickname after something. Like that, some big jelly or something like that.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there when they get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Yeah, they'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They are still in search of their first points in the ball game, but only down 6-0 as they begin with a first down. Goff will lead the Rams up here first and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and start the drive at Gurley. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
From the gun on third down. Man open, it's Cup. He's got it. Not able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 15, and the Rams have a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch. But you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Off on first down. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And he'll be brought down right on the 50. A gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. From the midfield strike, they look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil. Back. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Third and long. It's gone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Getting a hand in there and knocking it away, Eddie Jackson.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And their 2 drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0. But the ability to move the ball is evident.
Well, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting 6s on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have a little self-satisfying grin. Right now, a little more determination is needed.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, here's Trubisky. Heavy rush, and down he goes. Clay Matthews adding another sack to his impressive NFL resume.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Give him 30 yards there.
Chicago.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, and it's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to get the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Here's Trubisky to throw. And the Rams got it. They bring him down. Marching in for the sack by the blockers. You never want to give up a sack. And from the O-line's perspective, they need it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they left little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride. And they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. That's really, really difficult. We talk about some terrific athletes. We're trying to put him on the ground.
And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. As he'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all. And let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw is gone. And he caught by Cup. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to ground. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Kyle Ford. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. Looking for Woods that time.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So he comes out of nowhere. He's got this handlebar mustache, greasy hair. And he says, would you rather eat a jar of mayonnaise or 3 sticks of butter? Never mind. 3rd quarter action now. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. offense ready to go for their next drive.
Yeah, with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all or nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position.
He's going to take this one for a Rams touchdown. Todd Gurley, 72 yards, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. They've done a good job of holding him down in the first half, but he explodes for a big one right there.
Yeah, I got an image in my head of him being surrounded by a bunch of people, really, with ropes and other things trying to keep him locked in. But eventually they got tired too, and just as you noted, he broke out.
And it's a guy that usually you can only keep down for so long. Zerline connects on the extra point, and they take the lead here at 7-6. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away. Shocker. Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Not a lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle and swallowed him up. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a point for the punt team here on 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Again they run with Gurley. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It's a Rams first down on a pickup of 10.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. So on the heels of the run by Todd Gurley, another 1st and 10. Back to throw, Goff. They'll get this one to cut complete. Well, they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 35. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A.
Boy, what would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
On first down, it's gone. Wide open receiver complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A good pickup, 17 yards, and also a Rams first down. On first down, it's Gurley. He'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Tom Gurley, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2. Touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it's finished off by a Todd Gurley touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before and realize it hasn't worked for someone else. And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On second down, it's Montgomery. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. On 3rd down, Trubisky. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he'll wind up losing losing yardage here, back at the 21-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
We'll call that a punt, 54 yards, well struck. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Todd Gurley and the Rams offense set to take over. He's had a good 3rd quarter. He likes whatever adjustments were made at halftime, whether those were team adjustments or just him talking to himself.
And whatever that conversation was, it was pretty good because he is running really well here in the 3rd quarter. But I like to think it is a team adjustment. Offensive line, those big escorts of his, they figured out how to block a little bit better. He's found those holes to run through.
He has indeed. Big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Ball over the middle. That's handled by Cup. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
From the gun, here's Gone. It's Woods. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. They got 29 yards that time.
Couldn't just sit on it here. Could they have to throw the ball 3rd down? Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Gone. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again is gone. And that's complete to Cooks. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now it's gone. This is Cooks. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 30.
And that pickup on 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Goff now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. From the 22, Goff. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Khalil Mack, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very fickle man.
Throwing on 3rd. Gone. And Woods has it complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 18.
First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. From the red zone now, Goff. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Goff. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A Ram 1st down as Goff finds Cup. So 1st and goal, 6 points here. We're going a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll try and push it into Gurley. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Todd Gurley standing by his lonesome in the backfield here, 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run, and the Rams tack on to their advantage. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he has the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
There's 3 touchdowns. He's got the lead. Zerline good with a PAT. And the lead is up to 15 now. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And last year's rushing and total touchdown leader Todd Gurley caps it with his 1st of the game here. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency.
Now Trubisky wants the football.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from it. In this case, though, the teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Trubisky will throw. This one into the hands of Burton. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And you can almost feel Trubisky saying, let's get to the line and hurry up. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bears going to call the 1st of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. After that sack we just saw, Trubisky and the Bears dealing with 3rd and long. Now a desperate
face a two-score deficit here in the fourth quarter, going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard, realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
Here's Trubisky. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The veteran Eric Weddle there to break that one up. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Yeah, Slim just left town on that one.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Throwing now. Goff. They'll find everything complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Goff. Throw left side, complete to Cook. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Goff now looking to throw. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higby. He's got a 10-push run for the Rams touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown, Brown. And the Rams tag on to their advantage.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Zerline now for the PAT. He's got it, and the lead swells. It's 28-6. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Reporting Pro Bowler Aaron Donald gets the sack. Now it's Trubisky.
Number 12, defensive coach will always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. But they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, and especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Get a look at this offense led by Cooper Kupp as they make their way back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? It's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it happens to other people have big games as well.
Well, he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll
stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
At the 49-yard line.
Goff going to throw it. Able to get away. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack in there to make the sack on what will be the final act in this ball game. So the L.A. Rams with a victory here, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Rams are victorious here as we say so long from Exposition Park in L.A.